Hello, everybody. I'm Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggae Boyz Commentary, your platform for everything Jamaican football related. How's your day going? Have you been able to get some rest, recharge the batteries a little bit, prepare for what lies ahead this calendar year? Certainly hope that you have. So, this video is an opportunity for you to gain more knowledge, take in more information as you go about your day. It's a new month. And we're basically, you could say, the middle of the week, and we look forward to what lies ahead for sure. So, as you can see by the title of this video, it's quite compelling as I've spoken in the past about printed material in relation to Jamaica's senior men's national team. And one of my favorite books, which is where I'm trying to get right now, is what I'm going to show you right now. It's called this one. This is one of my favorite books, The Reggae Road to Soccer Glory, Jamaica's Dream Team. And many persons participated within the publication of this book. Jimmy Carnegie, a veteran sports journalist and historian covering numerous Olympic Games with the Jamaica Gleaner. Hubert Lawrence, basically tremendous knowledge and the walking encyclopedia of Jamaican track and field. Mike Henry contributed to this book as well, Ali McNabb. So it was just absolutely fantastic when you go through the material of this book as well, and the information, the statistics of Jamaica's campaign prior to René Simões' arrival, and of course to the qualification as well. And some lovely pictures are in this book. Now, maybe you are aware, maybe not, but quite recently, a new Reggae Boyz book is out, and it's called The Impossible Dream. And for folks that are in Jamaica, you can actually purchase this book right now. Yeah, this book is available for purchase, and you can be able to uh, gain a bit more insight into the process, the way how the team qualified for the for 90th World Cup, the build up towards it. And I must say, full credit as well for Leighton Levy for documenting the different interviews together in terms of getting different insights, not only about René Simões, but also Captain Burrell and other important stakeholders in this process. So big credit to Leighton Levy for putting this together, who is the consulting editor for this book, but you could essentially say, for the most part, it's like an autobiography of René Simões prior to coming to Jamaica, and of course, being on the island, 1994, the things that needed to be put in place, and of course, the eventual qualification. So, this book in itself has just about 130 pages. Trust me, I was able to finish this in 3 hours. And for you avid readers or avid sports lovers, football aficionados, you can be able to finish it right now. And so I was saying that this is available for purchase in Jamaica. If you go to Ian Randall Publishers, which is located on Herb McKinley Drive, you can be able to purchase this book. It's just about 20 US dollars right now for this book. Ian Randall Publishers, which is located on Herb McKinley Drive, persons can be able to purchase this book right now. So basically, I'll give a brief review on it, but certainly I would encourage you to go and take a look at this as well. It's very, very detailed, so many pictures, the stories, and the journey, René Simoes' family. There's so many things about this that you just have to say, wow. Especially as myself, that was born in the early 90s. And of course, myself being a toddler when Coach René Simoes came to Jamaica, just seeing how everything panned out in written form versus what you hear from people. Not saying that what you hear from people who were born in the 80s or 70s or 60s were not true, but having it in written form, it cements the point even further, and you can be able to picture it a little bit better, even with the pictures that are within this book as well. So that's what I'd say, especially persons that are born in the 90s like myself, or who are 2000, born in the 2000s, trust me, I would encourage you to read this. You could say 10 chapters in this book, a foreword, a note from the author, acknowledgements, epilogue, recollections, and of course, a mini snippet of the rise of the Reggae Girls. Many different chapters, and they involve how it all began, the captain and the taxi driver, a lot of jobs to do, starting with the basics, a solid foundation, hitting the checklist, new faces, 1996, the make or break year, preparing for the final round, a new roster, epilogue. The foreword was done by Douglas Arane, and Douglas Arane actually has done a fantastic book as well. I read it back in 2016 where he spoke about his life as well, Grace Kennedy, and how he grew up. And that was also a fantastic book as well. If I had to recommend three books for any person right now, it would be this one. It would be the autobiography of David Beckham and Michael Carrick. Those are the three autobiographies I would say I'd recommend to anybody right now. Okay, so Douglas Arane, he spoke about in a foreword about how important it was in relation to the nutrition for the 1998 campaign. And when Simoes approached him, it was like a no-brainer, really, to have players eat well. And you could say the 90s was that turning point because we heard similar sentiments as well when Arsene Wenger went to Arsenal. And eventually you saw what happened at Manchester United, where that drinking culture was not necessarily stamped out, but you could say there was a quota or there was a time and place for everything where that is concerned. So it just goes to show what the 90s did, broadly speaking, in terms of athletes, how they treated themselves, and basically the importance of having proper nutrition. I must say, this is one of my favorite pictures in the book. I'm telling you what, I want to see that this year. When that final whistle blows and qualification is secured for 2026, that is what I want to see. Honestly, it is. And the author, of course, René Simões, 98, what it meant for him. Did you know? I encourage you to read the book, but I'm going to share some snippets that perhaps you weren't aware about. Did you know that the day that Coach René Simões signed a contract to be the technical director of Jamaica, he got an offer the same day from a club in Japan? He said in his book as well, let me read the last few lines of it. This is the last paragraph of chapter one. I signed the contract. This is Coach René Simões. I signed the contract, and the unimaginable happened. I was committed to Jamaica for the next 4 years. Incredibly, that same day, I received a phone call from an agent with an offer to coach a team in Japan. Had the contract not been signed, I would have taken the offer from the club team in Japan. I highlighted some interesting and key points as well in relation to this journey. Coach René Simões had experience with Brazil getting the bronze medal at a Youth World Cup. His experience was building, especially the experience he had in the Far East, and it spoke about the experience that he had as well in Qatar and in his mind, prior to November 1994, he had in his heart set that he would be going back to Qatar, as during that time you have rolling 1 year contracts being given out. But the story of how René Simões came into this picture of Jamaica is very interesting. It speaks about in 1992, the Brazilian Ministry of Foreign Affairs created a project for Caribbean countries which offered technical support in any area desired. In 1994, this program caught the attention of Captain Horace Burrell, president of the JFF, setting off a train of events that were destined to change the course of Jamaican football forever. Captain Burrell sent a letter. Of course, this went to the Brazilian Foreign Affairs and Foreign Ministry. And this letter went to, can you believe it? None other than FIFA president at the time, João Havelange. And of course, as it went to João Havelange, you could, in many ways, say full credit to João Havelange for the progress of that letter going from the Brazilian Foreign Affairs and Ministry to the FIFA president at the time to having a list of candidates that are available and possible. And of course, João Havelange contacted Professor Manuel Espezim Neto, his partner at the Brazilian Football Academy, and it was just incredible that one of five candidates was René Simões. Honestly, guys, I encourage you, please, please, please read this book. I beg of you, please read this book. You will be so captivated by Jamaican football. You will be smiling through it. You're gonna feel so happy. It's a worthwhile investment. I'm telling you. 3,300 Jamaican dollars, 20 US dollars. The pictures, vivid imagery, the quotes, the journey itself, the 10-point plan to make 98 a reality. Coach René Simões outlined it in the book. The job that needed to be done, things that needed to be arranged off the field before the on the field. We spoke about the nutrition, but it goes again to what I was saying, how I have said in previous videos about all hands on deck and all stakeholders working together, the government, corporate Jamaica, staff, technical staff, players. So it showed how influential René Simões was in this project, not only on the field, but off the field as well, and how meticulous he was in arranging these things off the field, of course, with the help of Captain Horace Burrell, Horace Reed, and other important stakeholders that played a role in this project. So that's why I would say it's so important. Please, please, please read this book. And, what I would say for content creators who are online as well, speak about it as well, because I promise you, this is going to be something that you will appreciate. It speaks about the government ministers and the moral support that they give, not only financial, but also the support they gave towards football, towards the campaign, the well wishes. It was really important. It spoke about individual players as well. What René Simões saw when he saw Bibi Gardner. You could even say that René Simões is the reason why Bibi Gardner didn't end up going to the United States to play for a high school or play collegiately, but instead told his parents that, listen, football is his path and he's going to be a professional footballer. Spoke about Freddie Butler when he came on the field and putting some creative passes together. Spoke about Anandi Lowe and his size, his strength, his ability. Of course, Walter Boyd speaks about him as well and the amazing talent that he had. And René Simões spoke so well about him being in the States, Colorado Foxes, I believe the team was, being in Jamaica, the moments during each game. Each game that we played in the qualifiers is also documented. From Suriname to now. Honestly, it's like I'm telling you the book, but I'll just share one more story that will be important. Our first game in the 1998 World Cup qualifiers was away in Paramaribo against Suriname. As you know, by regulations, the team is supposed to arrive at a venue 90 minutes before kickoff, and Jamaica had left the team hotel 2.5 hours before kickoff, the team hotel to the venue. And a few minutes onto the driving to the stadium, the bus broke down. And can you imagine that they had to go on the back of a truck to get to the venue? But again, I want you all to read this book, to appreciate this book, because you all are going to appreciate. It speaks about René Simões speaks about his daughters and his wife, how supportive they were of him. So it just goes to show how every stakeholder is important in this process, and basically the importance. Recollections by players, Ricardo Bibi Gardner on the journey, on Simões' influence, Frank Sinclair, other stakeholders as well on this role. Trust me, it's worth it. So, said where you can purchase it, purchase the book, and you won't be disappointed. All right. Thank you very much, folks. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to Reggae Boyz Commentary for more content.